afternoon, this is Zazie. I am going to be talking again about villagers and heroes, and today I'm going to give you an overview of stats. I'm going to look at 3 different characters. One is level 10, one's level 18, and one is much higher level than that. So we're going to start on the level 10 toon. This toon is still working on the Malicious Miscreant quest in the Summer's Hollow Zones. She's done a little bit of crafting for herself, not a whole lot, so I'll show you her gear. It's borderline, it's okay, she's getting by. So I hit the C key, the letter C, and it opens up the character page. So when you look at this is your attack rating here, and your defense rating. When you hover your cursor over these 2 different areas, it gives you a breakdown. And these breakdowns can give you a very good idea of how to improve your toon, how to improve your gear, your build. This section here, these are all common and uncommon stats. And you notice the green arrows. When you have your cursor over here, it tells you whether you have a decent amount, a high amount, an extreme amount of this stat. Let's see here. And when you hover your cursor over to the left, it tells you what piece of gear you can find things on, what the stat does. Over here, it shows you more information, your percentage. So these are all very basic stats. And eventually, you want to have at least one of these green chevrons, these green arrows, in each of these stats. At least one, preferably 2. In my opinion, if you get to 3 arrows, it's not as effective because of, when you put too many points into something, it begins to lose its effectiveness. So, as far as I think, you want to max things at 2 green arrows. But that's just my opinion. Now we scroll down here. It shows you secondary stats. You can hover your cursor over all of these, and it gives you breakdowns. These below here are epic stats. And epic stats, those are the blue ones. The green stats are commons or uncommons. And so when you have the epic stat, it gives you the definition of it. If you don't have the epic stat on any of your gear, you won't necessarily have any way of finding out what it does unless you look on the forums, look on the wiki, find someone who can tell you what that epic stat is and what it does. So these are some of the epic stats here. Now you can see that my attack rating is only 2.9, my defense rate is 2.2. If your stats are less than 2, you're going to have a hard time. 4 or more is better. 6 or above is really good. Now let's look at her gear here. So she's wearing, most of her pieces of gear are rares. And when you have your cursor over, it shows you the power rating. Power rating is just a very general indicator of how good that piece of gear is in comparison to your combat level. It tells you a little bit. It can be helpful when comparing 2 pieces of gear, but the stats on the pieces of gear are what's really the most important. And if you hold down the Alt key, it shows you the detailed rune information. That kind of diamond-shaped rune, those are passive runes, so they boost abilities, feats, and the like. And the square-shaped runes, those are active runes. Those are your actual feats. And the feats are tied to the weapon itself, not to your toon. So when you're nogging, make sure that you click on those square-shaped runes. Otherwise, you will end up with a weapon that has no feats or spells on it. Let's see here. So this is just giving you a very general overview here. So I'm going to pause recording and switch toons so you can see the difference between a level 10 toon who really hasn't done anything with her gear and a level 18 toon whose stats are a bit more improved. Okay, so I have now switched to the level 18 tune that I have. And as you can see, she has some better pieces of gear. Unfortunately, they're kind of outdated for her. I mean, a level 10 epic mace, if she were level 10, that would be a really good piece of gear, but at level 18, she could really stand to be using a level 16 mace. But it's doing okay for her at the moment. And she has a level 9 epic piece of armor here, so again, same thing. But she's got a few gear issues, but it's a work in progress here. And I'm just hovering over here so you can see a general. Come on, hat. So you can see a general sense of where she has runes, etc. And the necklaces, you can begin to equip necklaces at level 17, and you can begin to equip rings at level 13. Rings can have passive runes on them. Some do, some don't. Those are drop loot items. And your necklaces are also drop loot items, and the necklaces can have an active rune on them. For this priest here, she could use a cure rune, or she could use can't go up with the name of the other one, but at any rate. And so you look at her attack rating, her defense rating, her stats are a bit better. She has more green arrows here. And let's see, she has quite a few of the epic stats. So these are all listed here. And let me pause the video again, and then I will show you a high level tune. Okay, I'm back. So we are now looking at a level 80 tune. This tune has completed 4 rebirths, so she has more talent points to play with. And this tune was created 4 years ago, so there's been not just days, weeks, hours, etc. of work put into the tune, but a lot of time and effort. So what you're looking at here is more what you're trying to achieve when you get to the end of the game, not what you're looking at the beginning of it. And you see this tune has a much higher attack rating and defense rating. This tune has used plenty of sockets, which I strongly discourage players from using until they're in maybe the level 30 to 40-ish range. And when you get to a point where you're not outgrowing your gear so quickly, it feels more beneficial to spend your sockets then. Your gear is lasting longer, you're not outgrowing it so quickly, you're not leveling up every single day, every single week even. So here, this is what her stats look like unbuffed, and you notice 2 arrows and everything. Shadow Mastery is really high, but it's kind of hard to avoid that, I think. And let's see here. This is a class token. You can start equipping class tokens at level 45 combat. Your class tokens are spell books, bracers, scepters, and knives. So she has that. And she also has down here, these are trinkets. You can begin equipping trinkets at level 35 combat. And the trinkets have an active rune, as does the class token. Class token, there are 2 different runes, one for each subclass. So there's not a lot of variety in the runes on the trinkets, on the scepters, but your runes on the trinkets really have a lot of variety. There are 2 different mana boosting feats. There are 2 different healing feats. There are trinkets that help boost your savagery, your haste, your magic resist, all sorts of different helpful things. And your trinkets can really help you to better define your build. Not everybody likes to use the same trinkets, and that's where you can really have a lot of flexibility and create a build that's right for you. And along with the trinket feats, another way of tweaking your build to suit you is not just in the common and uncommon stats, but in these epic stats. And so here you see things like Blasting, Void Strike, Magic Find. Magic Find is awesome. Blasting, again, is absolutely awesome. Let's see here, Lifesteal. Lifesteal is very helpful if you don't have a lot of healing feats. If you're not a holy priest, say. My Shadow Priest absolutely loves Lifesteal, loves Blasting. Berserk is another good one. A lot of people love Glory. There's also Poise and Shielding and Flux. This is Void Strike here, and Onslaught. I'm not sure if I have every single epic stat on this toon, but the thing with epic stats is that you eventually, with some tweaking and just testing things out for yourself, you figure out what you like best, which epic stats are most important to you, and then you try to build your toon around that, and you try to find drop-loot pieces of gear that have those specific epic stats on them, and you craft 5-star gear, or maybe even just 3-star gear, and you try to get pieces of gear that have the stats that you like best. And that would lead to a tutorial on noggin, which I've already done. I think I'm going to leave it there. This at least gives you a pretty general overview. You can look at reinforcement runes here. You can look at active runes. But I think this should pretty much help. I'm just going to hover again over some of these pieces of gear just so you can kind of see, get a general sense of things. And this one, this one. So, I believe that is it for the moment. Thank you very much for watching.